What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Stefan.
And this is Brandon.
Welcome back to Crisis on Infinite Rants. Part of Whiplash Wednesday. Earlier today, you guys saw Nick. And then we had Travis with his sit-down comic community. And this week he's not interviewing, but he had a nice little conversation with Sheena. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that.
I will.
What part of... Oh, yeah.
I will.
This is part of the Whiplash Wednesday programming block. And today, me and Brandon will be discussing, just chatting about DC Fandome, which just happened over the past weekend and had a lot of cool things going on.
For sure, man. This was exciting. Some stuff I just simply don't care about, but we're gonna get into it. So, quick question for you: What do you think was the biggest difference between this year's fandom and last year? Do you think they did it better?
I haven't really reflected on that. I wouldn't say a little bit. I guess I think it was a little bit more organized. Last year they kind of had like time segments, and so you missed out on a lot of stuff because weren't tuning in. Like they had stuff playing at the same time. This year it seemed a little bit more organized. They wanted to make sure everyone got a chance to see everything. I also noticed a lot more, like last year was just straight up DC properties. This year they kind of integrated more like the sub brands, I guess, like Vertigo, Milestone, which is cool.
To give it to them. Well, they did Milestone last year. They announced Milestone's returns last year, but it was a brief segment with Dennis Cowan and Dennis Cowan. I was like, anyone else? I'm like, no, they didn't. But
Dennis and Dennis.
I think what the biggest difference in fandom from this year and last year was it was more organized, but the delivery this year in their segments and their segues were so much better. I don't think I've ever been more excited for a movie trailer or like a casting drop, because we didn't get the trailer last year for Suicide Squad. We got the cast, and I was never more excited about it. We got the sneak peek at the Batman trailer.
Right.
So, I mean, I like what they did, and I think James Gunn was like a huge part of it, and this year he just wasn't, and they missed that energy because they had a room full of people that I don't think really knew how to deliver same excitement, kind of like that Comic-Con feeling. Like when James Gunn walks into San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, he's dropping Guardian shit, he's dropping his own shit.
Right.
You want that uproar, and he brought that last year.
Yeah.
I don't even think Dwayne Johnson brought it this year, to be very honest.
No, he I don't know. We'll get to it, but I was a little disappointed in some of these deliveries. Like, for instance, last year when Batman dropped that, we can call it a trailer, but
we had the director talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. He was commenting, but they had been filming for maybe a little over a month when they dropped that, and that looked like a full. So when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I can only imagine a year from now when they've actually had time to work on this.
And we had time to recover from COVID.
Oh,
disrespect to COVID.
Yep. Major disrespect to COVID. But I think the Batman was a perfect example of doing it right. But we'll get to that.
Right. 100%. Actually, we did start off with Black Adam. So Black Adam kicked it off, and this was the Rock himself, Dwayne Johnson, introducing everything. And kind of like I mentioned earlier, when you have somebody introducing a movie or like a first look, we got like the premise, we got the concept art last year during Fandom. This year we actually got the trailer. And
somewhat.
And it was more of a sneak peek, but it was more, I don't know, it felt very flat from what I saw. I'm excited that we're seeing a lot of JSA characters in there, and the cast looks fine.
Fantastic.
It just felt like there was something missing in Dwayne Johnson's performance, I would say.
I don't think they really showed anything to wow us, because the highlight of the trailer was the bad guys are shooting like machine guns at Black Adam, and of course he's catching the bullets and bouncing off of them.
I think it was more like hey, it's Dwayne Johnson!
Exactly. Instead of it showcasing stuff about Black Adam. Yeah, it was more about The Rock.
Right, and the Dwayne Johnson is fantastic. I think
absolutely.
He's one of the most versatile actors that we have, and I'm excited that this stretches him in a new word dynamic, kind of a stretch from Fast and Furious or Hobbs and Shaw. kind of type shit. But I don't know. I just didn't think that he got that excitement. I think he was a little cliche in his delivery, and it's just like, I don't know. It was fine, but
because they didn't have. I mean, the highlight of that was he's rising off the ground, and right before he does anything, they cut away, and it's like you guys didn't really show anything, so why would you cut it off right there? Like,
no. You saw his biceps glowing and his pecs glowing, and I mean, that's enough to get me to watch the movie. I don't know about anybody else, but
so the difference. Okay, so at least with like last year when they did the Batman behind the scenes cut teaser, whatever you want to call it,
the director was there to talk about the movie.
Right. Yeah. And you saw enough to kind of warrant, oh, they're going in a different direction with this Batman movie. Like he's gonna be different from any Batman we've seen before. But with Black Adam, we've seen Shazam. Okay, they're very similar in power set. So we should have seen something to, I mean, I guess if you want to qualify him electrocuting the dude down to a skeleton, yes. But beyond that, we really didn't see, you know, Black Adam using. I wanted to see Black Adam using the powers of Shazam and whatnot in not devious ways, but just ways we.
Darker,
I mean,
like
darker, yes.
Like a tease of how far he's gonna go, and
exactly.
I guess that's the mystery. Maybe they don't want us to, but
right.
If you want to choose any scene from a movie that's mostly, I think are they done filming? I don't even know if they're done filming yet, but
that is a good question. I don't think they are.
Okay, but even if you have an agenda of what you want to film, right? Like, because when Batman dropped that year, they were very methodical. They were very thoughtful of what they wanted to show.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is just what Dwayne Johnson liked. So is it his direction of the movie? Is it the directors? And why aren't the directors out in front of this, hyping it up? That's what I want to see, especially because you are introducing a newer concept into DC. This is going to be your first African-American led movie. So there's automatically that expectation. You have Hawkman, who is casted as an African-American. So there's a lot of excitement for diversity building up in this movie.
Cyclone.
And I think that they're Cyclone. And I think that and it's even being dropped in Egypt, which is a very religious area.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I felt very underwhelmed.
It was underwhelming.
There's things that I wanted to like. It's like I wanted to like it, but I was like, this is not gonna be a really good film.
It's like that's it.
But it's also not. It's like, well, what am I gonna get excited about? That was really the question that I had. What am I gonna get excited for?
Like, you know, they showed the concept art of the locations they wanted to use. That's cool and all, but I would like to have seen that fully realized as a set. Like if they would have shown us something like that, you know, I would have been okay. I get it.
And I'm not expecting to get a full blown trailer or anything of the story. I just kind of want a glimpse up to, well, what do I have to look forward to in the trailer? Like, right? Like you said, like if I'm a painter right now, I have a palette. I kind of want to see the different colors before I kind of do my outline.
Exactly.
I didn't really see that from this movie or this trailer, and I just saw Dwayne Johnson crushing a skull with electricity, and I think he's muscular enough to where I think that's pretty realistic for him to do in real life. Anyway. I don't know.
It's not too far. Yeah, not too far off.
And then we got Grant Gustin with the Flash with the CW season debut or kind of announcement, which it is what it is. I stopped watching it right after Crisis on Infinite Earths because I don't know. I got very bored of the way they were doing the TV shows. I think once they got to Zoom and once they got to Paradox,
started to become a little repetitive in plot.
Not really repetitive. Is what stories do you have once you start getting that current in comics?
Well, I mean, they can mix stuff up. I'm not gonna lie. I can't really speak on it. This is only from what I've heard. I've only finished season 1, but not because I don't like it. I just have a backlog, bro. You know what is a backlog, bro?
I don't know what is a backlog, bro. Cheers to that. Cheers to that.
Cheers, yo. Cheers.
This episode is sponsored by Your Cup of Coffee sitting at home because this does drop at 4:15 every 4:15 for Whiplash Wednesday.
Station. But
drink your coffees accordingly, at least 3 cups a day.
I will say about the Flash show that I respect is the evolution of his costume.
Yes.
I think especially Grant is championed trying to get as much comic accurate as possible. And I did see that he's finally got the golden boots. So I think that's really cool. Kind of make me feel like it could be like the last season.
It
Maybe
is
they
the
have one
last.
more
I think it is
season. Is
confirmed
it?
that it is
Okay.
the last. His quote, Gustin put it, is it's always been the final element that I think has been missing from our suits. I don't know if he means like final is like the final element. I think it would be the last season.
Right.
Because again, you're already like diving deep into modern comics, and I guess you feel like you have a more complete Flash now. Also, with Ezra Miller, I think that they're just gonna, they don't want to overlap content.
Yeah.
And if I have my option of which Flash I would take, it's certainly not Ezra Miller, but we'll get to
I
that.
think you said it perfectly. I just want to comment on him. He I know a lot of people are irritated by him. I'm not as bothered as others because he's a great actor, charming. But he doesn't fit Barry or Wally for that matter. And you said it best, and I couldn't believe I couldn't put my finger on it before. But he is a perfect Bart. All the energy, very blah, 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 obnoxious. He's Impulse, bro. Like they should have had him play Impulse. But
right, that would have been perfect.
yeah,
and it was weird because the costume was so reflective of Wally West, but then the effects were, when he would like slow down, were more of a Barry.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and now he's like a Bart. It's like they took all three Flashes and put it in a blender and said, this is what we're going to dish out. And who gives a shit? Because, you know, but I don't know. It's weird. I'm not watching The Flash, but I know some people are. I fell off. And I'm this. That's my mindset with a lot of CW shows, that I was riding hard. I was riding hard on Flash when I started watching it. I was riding hard on Supergirl, Legend, and Green Arrow. And then it got to the point where I was like, this starts to suck. And they can't really maintain. CW's having a hard time not only maintaining content, but maintaining some actors and their contract. It's just not. It's just you had an ending and you missed it, and you're trying to regroup yourself when it's just a means to the end. So
yeah, I feel like a lot of CW, it seems like the trend with them is that they'll start off great with a lot of momentum, and then I don't know if they get to a point where they're comfy or just complacent.
They have too many working parts, and then they get carried away. So
yeah.
If you guys have ever seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they got carried away once they went to space and started dealing with all that bullshit, right? That really didn't need to be dealt with because it really wasn't their duty as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It was like, but they never stayed true to their characters and to their main mission, right? As the season continued, the plot could change, but their mission statement should always really stay the same. And the CW shows really lose that from as they like go deeper into the lore of their characters, and it's like, oh my gosh, what crazy concept can I do that maybe would be reflective in an Al Ewing comic book? Oh, that one.
Yeah, they just kind of start throwing stuff at the wall, but like that sticks. That didn't, but this sticks. Let's just try something else.
It's hanging by a thread. Season 7.
Right.
But then we got a little behind the scenes thing with Jason Momoa. Gave us our first deep dive into Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom.
Is Wan coming back for that?
I'm sorry?
James Wan, the director. First one, is he directing second?
Yes.
Okay.
I like the setting of the first movie. I really did. I love the effects that they did for it.
Beautiful.
I don't think Jason Momoa was a good fit for the role. I think that, I don't know, it's weird because I don't think he had the personality to be Aquaman. Like I think they went for more of a stubborn, blunt leader, and there is not a whole lot of personality to it.
He's not bad, but he's not Aquaman. Like Aquaman, I get what they're trying to go for, but if you were to go for like a cinematic Aquaman, even though he doesn't really fit it, but I'm thinking more of like Gerard Butler in 300. Yeah. Like he's savage, warrior, but he can also lead at the same time. I don't get that from Jason Momoa.
No.
He's still charming though.
Aquaman is a very personable person. He's someone who emulates a lot of feelings into what he does because he lives a dual life, you know.
Yeah.
And then he takes care of a lot of people, and I really don't think that Aquaman's there wasn't a lot of stuff that I enjoyed from the first movie other than the cinematography.
Yeah,
I think that was like unmatched, but
yes.
I hope Jason Momoa can kind of, I don't know, because I'm trying to think of like any movie where he's been kind of a a
He's always
different
kind of
role.
playing
He always plays the same role.
same role.
And I
Yeah,
think when he went into Aquaman, he didn't know how to like stretch his wings with it.
I'm holding out hope. I give him the benefit of the doubt though, because he's passionate about the character, that he can try to grow into that.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
I liked Black Mana's suit. I think that was an improvement over the first one. The
yeah.
first one was kind of big and clunky. They streamlined his newer suit a little bit, make it yes, it looks more like a muscle suit, but it also looks like he can be mobile and actually like to be honest, I was looking at the first suit compared to this newer suit, and I was like, man, I don't see how he even threw a punch in the first one. Like Aquaman would have like he's just so stiff looking. Yeah.
Yeah. Then we got Milestone Media, which is cool. So the Milestone Initiative is the new partnership with Ally, which was the first program of DC's generation, of the next generation for DC.
Yep.
And this is basically to create more job opportunities for writers and artists looking to pursue a career in comic book media.
Oh wow, that's dope.
Medium, and they are doing this through the Milestone comic line. So you are gonna see more Icon Rocket. I think you're gonna see more of them on the big screens in 2022, and I think that they're gonna compile all these digital firsts into a big compendium to throw them at you, which I would love to death. At least that's what I've gathered from it. And they're definitely doing stuff. They're definitely pursuing Milestone more, which is great because that was a very important piece of DC.
Yeah, and there's some great characters there. I mean, I know he's the most well known, but Static is a perfect example of what Milestone has to offer. He's not he's dope, but if you like Static, there's other great characters in Milestone. Right. Hardware is get away, is a personal favorite of mine up there with Static. But yeah, I'm glad they're recognizing that.
Right.
So, big ups to DC.
And this is my first introduction to Static, and the rest of these guys I'm going to be picking up in trade. Static I'm reading by the single issues just because I'm a little bit more familiar with the character. And I've been really enjoying it, and I think it's important that readers, when writers are doing a good job at making comics for everybody, making them more diverse, I feel like as readers, you should give it more of it. You should be more of an open book rather than picking up a book like this that really doesn't need your money because it's still going to come out, right? And I love Star Wars. Don't get me wrong, but Star Wars will always be there.
That's always going to sell you.
If a writer is taking a risk, or a bunch of writers, a group of writers are taking a risk with characters that have never really gotten a whole lot of love, either in the present future or like the distant future or whatever, right? Or if they are kind of forgotten about, I think you owe it to yourselves to support that initiative.
Absolutely.
So it can happen again. Maybe not for those characters, but for another character set.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree, yeah.
Like if Milestone sells really well, maybe we're going to get to see more, let's say, for example, Asian-based superheroes in the DC universe, right? Or, so that's something that I think is very important. And then kind of banking off that, I know this didn't appear directly after, but that also is my point for the whole Wonder Woman event coming out of Wonder Woman's 80th anniversary. And that's going to be very exciting. It's including a diverse set of women. You have Nubia, who is African-American, who is the queen of the Amazons, which is fantastic. You have Diana, who is being handled by Michael Conrad and Becky Cloonan, very good friends of the show.
Oh,
which you guys should be supporting. You didn't know
that? I just saw that you post. I haven't been in the shop in a while, but I just saw back.
They've been on the show.
I know they've been on the show. I didn't know they were writing Nubia though.
No, that's Vita Ayala. That's Vita Ayala.
Oh, Wonder Woman. You said there.
Vita Ayala is doing Nubia. Diana, the main Wonder Woman. Michael Conrad, Becky Cloonan, and then you have Yara Flor, and then you have Artemis. That's still Jarrell Jones.
Okay.
And then you have Artemis, who's kind of just looming around right now. So you have a lot of. Wonder Woman has never gotten this treatment ever.
Yeah, they're doing a very big push.
Made this kind of push for Wonder Woman, so I would
think it's about time.
Owe it to yourself to check it out because you
Yeah.
ask yourself, what can I do with a character that's been around for 80 years? What more can I do? They're giving you something more. They're answering your questions. So you
Yep.
owe it to yourself to see that to the end of the line. And then
Yeah,
if it's
I
not for
agree.
you, at least you gave it a shot, and at least they can allow that avenue for more segments, to
Yep.
happen. Especially,
Yep.
then, and I think that's important, especially, right? It's a great way to involve women in the comic industry and really
Oh, absolutely.
diversify the medium even more on our end from the readership perspective and get more voices. A lot of times you hear the same voices reviewing comics, right? Being,
Yep.
I don't want to say public figures, but spokespeople
Spokes.
for
Yeah.
the spokesmen for the industry. I hope one day we can see like more of a diverse group, right? So like even like big shout out to like Jen and Mars, because that's just a great example. And there are so many women in our community today, and I only wish for that number to continue because comics are really meant for everybody.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
glad that DC is taking initiative to pursue that statement.
I
So
agree.
that's like that's like, if I'm taking anything out of fandom, it's that that comics wise I'm most excited for DC, right? I'm excited that they're bringing something new to characters that have been around.
Yeah.
And they made that very prominent. And then we had the video game, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. We saw it last year. I still don't care because I don't play it. I'm not gonna play it.
No, okay. I play games. So, I believe this is being made by the studio that made the Batman Arkham, it's a mosquito, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight games. I'm excited for it because I remember when the first Batman came out back in 2009, I was like, oh, this is going to be terrible. It's another blah, 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 because no comic book based games have really been good up until that point. X-Men Legends 2, Ultimate Alliance, those were all fantastic. Even that year in 2009, we had Ultimate Alliance 2, and that wasn't that good. But
I loved Ultimate Alliance.
I love the first one. The first one was not made by the same people who. Okay, so X-Men Legends 1, 2, and Ultimate Alliance 1 were made by the same game company. Ultimate Alliance 2 was some new. This stuff matters, people. The development teams. So that's goes in to say, the people who made these Batman games 10 plus years ago put a lot of love and craft into realizing Batman for the video game platform, and I feel like they'll do the same thing for Suicide Squad. I thought the trailer last year was very, very fun, very, very energetic. I'm a video game head, so I'll go play it anyways. But this year, the trailer just kind of gave you more, more as to the plot. What Justice League members they'll be using. Kind of like the idea. I kind of figured the Justice League was going to be like mind control or something like that. It's not straight up just the Suicide Squad is hunting down the Justice League. Like, it's obviously for a reason. Because we saw like brief flashes or glimpses in the trailer of Wonder Woman going up against Superman. We saw Superman, his face looked really weird, insinuating he was like under some sort of mind control.
Brainiac.
Is it Brainiac? Oh, yes, it is Brainiac. No, that makes the most sense because they do show Brainiac.
I just like kind of put the pieces together in my head. I was like, I don't know. That whole segment was a big bathroom break for me.
For anyone who likes video games, I think you guys should be excited. I like the King Shark's look has changed since the last time we saw him in last year's trailer. They gave him more of a they made him more blue, but I feel like they slimmed down his head a little bit. Like, he was very wide, kind of like the Harley Quinn show. Have you seen him in Harley?
Yeah,
he's very like wide looking. He kind of looked like that in last year's trailer. They kind of slimmed him down, but it was cool. I don't mind it. The aesthetic changes.
Right.
But yeah,
and then we got the Peacemaker show, which John Cena. I just don't care. I just don't care.
You know what? It's handled by James Gunn, so
I'm sure it'll be good. It's just I'm not excited for it this year. I'm not excited for it right now, especially because DC just has not delivered on any shows for me that has not been animated. Like Titans is a show that I've really wanted to like, and I just don't. I just don't.
I can't. I'm one of those few people who enjoyed Titan season 1.
I like season 1. I just didn't like anything after.
Okay, so the problem was season 1, they were a little bit darker than what people preferred, so they got a lot of complaints for season 1 because of that. So I feel like in season 2 they tried to rein it back and give people more of the Titans they know, but it was such a contrast to season 1. It was just very jarring. So I feel like season 3 they've been trying to find a nice medium of classic Titans and the gritty Titans they introduced.
There's not going to be a classic Titans anymore because you've hit so many beats and there's no rhythm in between. You've hit the beat of Trigon, Raven, Deathstroke, okay, Superboy, or well now Connor, Red Hood, Tim Drake. You've hit all of that. You spend so many years of Titans history in 3 scenes. Like there's no reason why right after Dick Grayson becomes Nightwing, immediately after you're seeing Jason Todd die, or you're seeing Red Hood come into play.
That's okay. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Season 3, before it premiered, I thought that I knew Red Hood was coming.
Why you're seeing Tim Drake before Dick Grayson is really understanding his role as Nightwing. Also, I've never seen a group of superheroes that are so loose with their secret identity. Freaking take their mask off in the middle of the public, say, "Hey, everybody, my name's Dick Grayson. I live at Bruce Manor, Wayne Manor." What the fuck
did he do that?
Say? Basically,
I haven't finished, but
I'm 2 episodes behind because
I don't mind what they're doing with the Titans. I think they could definitely, because Young Justice isn't necessarily the Young Justice from the comic books. Like Young Justice was like a not really Justice League, but we do get a fair share of the older heroes, like Batman, Superman, all those guys in Young Justice. Yes, but I feel like they do change stuff accordingly when they need to, but it works within the realms of the story they've set up.
Titans doesn't.
I'm not one of those big Titans haters, but I think they could. They haven't done everything perfect, but I think they could definitely work other stuff into that. Like maybe they'll start amalgamating Young Justice stories or Young Justice plots into Titans. But I do agree. I think where they messed up with season 3 is because before season 3 premiered, I thought that Red Hood was going to be kind of led up to, and by the end of this season, we were going to get Red Hood. But when I watched it, it was like the first episode. At the end of that, Red Hood was a thing. So I think they were trying to pull the rug from under people, and they kind of expedited the process of certain characters coming into play, like Tim Drake and things like that.
Right.
Shout out to the Tim Drake of the show. He's actually one of the Skull gang members in the Batman movie. If you freeze the shot when they're like, "And who are you supposed to be?" The guy right behind him, he's got like half his face painted. That's Tim Drake from Titans. But
no way.
Yep. So it's funny he went from being a Batman villain in one medium to being a Batman's partner. I guess he'll be. Another thing, I can see why I don't know why they added Tim Drake, because he's Batman's partner. Robin is Batman's partner. So, but Batman's not really in action in the Titans right now. He's kind of retired a little bit. So I don't know where they're going with that one.
Right.
I hold out hope. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
That they.
And then we got Superman and Beyond, which is basically gonna be touring the Kent farm with the cast of Superman and Lois. And we get to look back at a lot of characters and kind of see their voice actors carry over. So it's basically like What If, but for DC, I would say. It's more of a realistic What If, but for
it's
DC.
Called Superman Beyond?
It's called Superman ... and Beyond.
And it's going to be...
basically like an animated Smallville.
Oh, I've heard of this. I don't mind that.
No, because I don't. I think it's going to be fun. Fun.
One of the main things, I know a lot of people, because Smallville is still one of the greatest shows, TV adaptation-wise. It had a lot of heart. I think it got the whole... And that's the thing. Smallville was never meant to showcase Superman. It was about Superman or Clark Kent before all this. Like how he developed, what made him... What did he learn to become the
Right.
Superman that we know of, and they did all that just fine. But I know the actor Tom Welling was very big on that. Like he didn't want that to be a Superman show, because at that point, once he becomes Superman, you can't focus on all this. I mean, you can, but like the lot of family drama and like relationships he had going on in Smallville kind of wouldn't fly, because once he puts on the suit, you want to see him go up against Brainiac, you want to see him go up against Livewire,
Right.
whoever,
Mongol, General
Mongo, yeah.
Zod. You want
So
to see fucking everything.
yeah, I think they can, with the animated series, it's definitely like a nice halfway point where they can take those freedoms and not really tarnish what Smallville was supposed to be about. Like this is the evolution of that, and it helps that they've got the original voice cast behind this, or the people who are
And then
on Smallville.
And then Jim Lee made his appearance saying the new mission statement for Superman, which is truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. I thought that was like his mission statement like 10 years ago. But anyway, that's a different. I was like, wait, what? Is that his mission statement? I was like, I mean, no hate whatsoever, but I thought that was like the status quo of the character already.
Yeah.
But then we got the Doom Patrol confirmation that it's returning for its 4th season. I'm not watching Doom Patrol.
I love Doom Patrol. I think it is one of the best comic book shows currently out right now. I wanted to say like in the last few years. In terms of shows that have really caught my eye comic book wise and just really kept me on the edge of my seat, not edge of my seat, but I have to watch every episode. It's been Doom Patrol, The Boys. And I really love Legion. Legion was very
thought-provoking.
Yes.
I need to watch that. I still need to watch it though, but that's the vibe I got, especially because it's like Legion. We got the Flash trailer, teaser, and I'm like,
I almost feel like that let me down more so than the Black Adam, to be honest.
That was a disappointment.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ezra Miller's just not good at delivering anything.
And Barry's supposed to be a scientist, right? I don't see that coming from Ezra at all. Like, no, he just
setting up the whole Flashpoint arc, which we've seen in the CW. That was a whole arc, and I think it was like season 4, season 5. So
okay, but
something we have not seen before.
In their defense, that had kind of always been the idea for a Flash movie ever since Snyder started setting up Flash.
I know why
they need this movie, because if they do this, that way that's why we're getting Keaton, that's why we're getting Affleck, 2 different Batmans in the same movie. We're getting 2 different Flash. Not that it makes it better, but you saw Supergirl.
Out.
Who?
Can we get Batfleck out, please?
I'm a big Batfleck fan. You know what? Instead of giving John Cena his own Peacemaker show, give Ben Affleck his own Batman HBO Max show. That'd be great.
I would be okay with it. I don't think he's mobile enough to be Batman out of the Batmobile and outside of I don't know.
Batman, you haven't given him a chance. Did you see the warehouse scene in Batman vs Superman?
I did.
He's not mobile enough. He was quite mobile in that scene. Quite mobile, good sir.
He was mobile in an armored suit that looked like Tony Stark renovated.
Did you like Christian Bale? He wasn't in armor, and I'm not in the warehouse scene. You're talking about when he was going up against Superman, but in the warehouse scene, he was in his regular bat suit. If you don't have anything to say about Christian Bale's fight scenes as Batman, then you cannot comment on Ben Affleck's fight scenes as Batman or being mobile.
Christian Bale was the one in the
Batman, the Christopher Nolan trilogy. Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises.
I didn't like him as Batman either.
No, I didn't either, but I'm just saying people love him. I think it's more of a testament to Christopher Nolan's directing skills.
I think for me, it's more like I just want a Batman who can just rawly beat this shit. Like, just, I don't know, when I see Batman fighting, I see someone who's so skilled at fighting, he doesn't need to rely on a whole lot. Like, gadgets, yeah, every once in a while, but when you're solely tech-based, I don't know.
Who's tech-based?
That was mainly Batfleck, and both of them.
No, what? No, are you serious? Batfleck, he was punching people once. That's how Bruce Wayne does. All right, Bruce Wayne doesn't hit you a bunch of times. He can, but most of the time he's gonna hit you one time. He's gonna give you that one hitter quitter. You're gonna stay down. Like, I think he had a lot of rawness that I people give Batfleck. He hasn't, and honestly, he's the only Batman who hasn't gotten a chance to shine on his own. He had to share his first debut.
Speaking of chances to shine on their own,
no, let me say this. He did not get a chance to shine in Batman vs Superman. He had to share the screen time, which was technically a sequel to Man of Steel. Then in Justice League, he had to share it with like not seven, but 6 other heroes. Give this man a chance to do his own thing. Then we can really comment on how he was as Batman.
I respect it. But speaking of things that need their own thing to shine or getting their own thing to shine, is the Sandman in the Vertigo universe coming into DC. They saw the success of the. Oh, you didn't like that segue?
No. Yeah. How I felt about it. How you feel about Batfleck, man?
So but Sandman, we get DMZ. Sandman has a bunch of shit coming, and they basically are riding off. Yeah, Sweet Tooth was so successful. Now we got some shit planned. It was like Sweet Tooth's like the beta fish of everything, I feel like. And now they're like kind of using that as a catalyst, saying, okay, now we can like use Sandman, disappoint Neil Gaiman a few times. And I don't know. I've never read Sandman, so I can't really speak on it as a comic book. I've heard great things about everyone who's read it. Adaptation-wise, I know Neil Gaiman is very specific about.
Is he behind the show? Is he like executive producing or anything?
I don't think so. Maybe somebody in the chat can help us out in that, because this is a premiere, and if you are in the chat, big shout out to you guys. Station. Then we get the Injustice. So Injustice, first 2 episodes dropped on HBO. Did you already watch it?
It's a show?
Oh, not Injustice. I'm thinking of Young Justice. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was like,
I'm thinking of Young Justice. We got the Injustice trailer, which will be coming out soon.
I think it's already out, isn't it?
It's already out. I'm not really. I don't think I'm gonna watch it, but
I've heard bad things about. I don't use other people's basis, but I don't really read the comic run like that. Even though it's Tom Taylor, I love Tom Taylor, but I heard he did great things with it. I love the games,
right?
But I kind of think that DC will adapt certain storylines that don't need to be adapted sometimes for their animated movies, or don't hold too much weight. Like the Justice League versus Teen Titans, certain things, the animated movies DC's came out with over the last few years, it's like, really? You guys got Kingdom Come and you haven't tried to adapt Kingdom Come yet, but you're taking all these lesser storylines. Yeah, I feel like that's the thing. Identity Crisis. But Injustice, that's what I'm saying. Those are
dope, though.
No, that would be amazing. But those are Kingdom Come, Identity Crisis. They're only in comic books, Injustice has been spread out across mediums. It's had comic books, it's had video games. Do we really need an animated version of this story when we've gotten so much on it,
Right. No, I agree. Yeah. I agree. I've heard bad things about it, but what I did hear good things about is the development of Blue Beetle, which I'm very excited for.
Yeah.
All we got was concept art, but
it looks badass.
Looks very promising. Yeah. And there's not really much to speak on yet.
Yeah.
We're just scratching the surface, and I think that this is going to be kind of a slower introduction.
Yeah.
And then we kind of we're all into another video game. We get Gotham Knights, another game that I will not be playing, but I'm sure Link can tell you all about.
I will. Yes.
Yeah.
So okay.
He said, "Motherfucker, step back."
If you played the Batman games, I don't believe it's. I think it's made by the people who did Batman Arkham Origins, but they did a fantastic job as a studio following up to another studio. I think a lot of people kind of wanted that in the Batman games, was to not, they did so well with Batman. It's like, can you guys kind of realize other characters within the Bat family? And they did that to an extent. They had like little DLC. The missions were very small though. Now you would start to really get going and it'd be over. Like
Catwoman, like you get like little segments of Catwoman. That's what I remember when I used to play Arkham City, Arkham Origins.
Yeah. Yep. And Origins.
Good games. Oh my gosh.
I think this is a cool way to kind of, because when Batman's always around, it's kind of like, what purpose do the other? I mean, they still serve a purpose, but it's always when he comes around, the light's shown on him. So it's like with him out of the picture, you really get to see, kind of like in the Detective Tynan comics run, we got to see these other characters really hold their own without Batman there. I think that is a good way to look at this game. Is like Batman's dead in this game, so he's got the Bat family has to step up, and he's got all of his sons for the most part. I'm a little disappointed they didn't put Damian in there, but you've got the other three. You got Barbara. So I'm interested. I'll play the game. I'll definitely play it.
You play the game. Gotcha. Batwoman, which we have a new actress. Wait, no, same actress, third season.
No, I was gonna say, are they changing an actress every season? Oh, that's a new thing.
No, they're not. They're not. Made a mistake, but I haven't watched season 1, and I've heard to stay away from it. So I've heard that.
Big Kate Kane fan.
I love Kate Kane.
Yeah,
I love Kate Kane.
I thought Ruby Rose was a terrible casting choice from the jump, so I kind of refused to watch it. And then when the show came out, it got terrible reviews, so that didn't encourage me to watch it.
I don't like that's the race change that I actually mind, just because I think when you're, it's
I don't
weird.
know if I mind the race change, because Ruby Rose was such a terrible choice. I almost would have taken anybody else over her.
No, but like when I look at the comic book, right, and I still see somebody, her race was never an issue, so I don't really feel like that was the thing you needed to change. I think I think her costume is designed to look better on her skin tone being lighter. I think that's like the best way that I can put it.
Maybe you're just used to that, but
yeah, maybe I don't know.
But she had a very gothic pale
but like
look
the
to her.
red wig also made it just look all the more glowy yet dark.
Well, yeah, it kind of had the Batman Beyond elements, all black, red, red.
I don't know. That's like what I really liked in her costume. And yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I've got to see it, but I don't know. I thought Ruby Rose was such a terrible choice to begin with that it's almost anybody they would have chosen after her would have been better. She's a bad actress. I'm sorry, nothing against her, but I think she was on Orange Is the New Black. People really loved her because she was so edgy and hip, and that's just her thing. She's edgy and hip, but there's no talent there, and I stand by that.
Right. DC's Legends of Tomorrow celebrated 100 episodes. I don't care because it's not a good show, but good for them.
It's fun. I like that they don't take themselves too seriously, because I think that's where a lot of DC CW shows kind of have problems, is because they it's almost like a soap opera. It's like some shit will be so corny, but they'll act like it's so dire. And it's like, really, man, you're stressing out over that. So I like that Legends of Tomorrow kind of embraces the campiness that a lot of CW shows have, but don't embrace.
Right, and Batgirl is going to be leading her own live action film. Pretty cool.
Yes, there's a race change. I don't mind that.
No.
She'll be mixed. That's interesting. They did confirm that J.K. Simmons will be the Commissioner Gordon in the Batgirl movie. So shout out to all my mixed people right here. And
do I look mixed?
You could pass a little. I told you you're tanner than I am, but
weird. Cause somebody at work asked me that today. They're like, "Are you mixed?" And I'm like, "Do I?" Said, "Do I look mixed?" And they're like, "How high can you jump?" And I was like, "Whoa, okay." I was like, when I'm healthy, pretty
better. There's a stereotype. No, I'm just kidding. But no,
white man can't jump, and that is a fact, because let's just say my father's a white man who can't jump.
Woody Harrelson could jump though. Woody Harrelson's a gem, but I don't. I'm excited for that. I don't know. Do they have like they didn't release too much about Batgirl? It was just kind of concept art, like Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Okay. I liked what I saw though. I love that they're embracing the purple. I
Yes,
love purple is one of my favorite colors, but I
it's my
love that
favorite
look
color.
on Batgirl. You know, I think that works best for Batgirl.
Right. And we got the Titans. Season 4 is confirmed. And I care. I want more Titans because I like seeing more Dick Grayson on the show, but I would like them because they just squashed plans for a Dick Grayson led film, like solo film. I was like, I would prefer that more so than another Titans series because you've hit all the necessary beats that I'm like, what else do they have to do with Titans
I mean,
now? Are they
I
like, I don't know. It's weird because I want to be excited for it, but they've done, and it'll depend on how this season 3 wraps up.
yeah. Um,
But yeah, and then
I think Nightwing. I know a lot of people want his show to work, but some of these characters, man, are so ingrained to Batman that you can't. I mean, you could, but I think there would be a big fan outcry if you did a Nightwing movie and Batman was nowhere to be seen, but he was name dropped. You know, because him becoming Nightwing,
so significant.
yeah, it's significant from him stepping out under the shadow of Bruce. You know, so I think people like if you just kind of start off the film where Dick's, yeah, you're mentioning Batman, you're name dropping him, but he's nowhere to be seen. It just wouldn't hold as much weight. So I think they're trying to figure out how to really tie that in film wise.
Right. I don't. I have very mixed feelings about it, and it'll all depend on the end of the season. Other news I just want to quickly glance over: Harley Quinn gets the animated series gets renewed for season 3, but we don't know when that's coming out. I'm very excited for that because that was one of my favorite shows. It's
Very
perfect,
funny,
great.
great
Please
writing.
go watch it. It was hilarious, and it's everything we want in a modern version of Harley. Check it out, please, and thank you. We get concept art for Naomi, which looked cool.
They released a little teaser as well.
It was
Wasn't
cool.
anything.
I was kind of excited for it because I like Naomi.
Yeah. I'm a big Naomi fan. I think that's one of the. And this transition to DC hasn't been a highlight, but I think that's one of the better things he's done since being
Right, and
over at
it's gonna
DC.
go under the radar. It's gonna go
Yep.
so under the radar until
Yep.
this becomes a thing, and people are like, "What Bendis did it?" And everyone's like, "Oh yeah, he wasn't all
Naomi.
terrible."
Yeah.
But then we got Young Justice, which dropped episodes 1 and 2.
Stationed it in.
Yay! Did you watch it?
I have not watched it. I didn't know they released it. I just found out from you.
So they dropped a teaser, and then they said, "Hey guys, we're gonna drop the first 2 episodes on HBO, and it's fantastic. We're on Mars, and we're exploring the relationship with Superboy and McGann and her family. And there's a little there's a twist in there, and then
really?
there are characters from the future that are there that come into the present day, so that gives you hints of who that is. They wear a ring, and they rhyme with
Boost the gold.
There's another YouTuber
No,
here that says we are this group, right? And I think his
Legion
name
of
rhymes with
Superheroes.
Spark. I think his name rhymes with Spark, and his name might be Mark, but check him out. He has a fun channel. And then that was super exciting. I loved it. I loved it. And then we have the last piece of news was the big kaboom, the Batman trailer. Woo! Yay!
I'll just say this off the jump. I'm
so excited.
When he was first announced as Batman, a lot of people were talking shit. A lot of people. And it was all because he was in Nightwing. And I'm like, have you guys seen anything else he's done other than Nightwing? The man
not Nightwing.
can act.
Not Nightwing.
Or not Nightwing. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Twilight.
Twilight. I wish.
But yeah, he was in Twilight.
Nightwing though. I'm not gonna lie.
But yeah, I know he takes his roles very seriously, and he picks and chooses very carefully with the movies he's done since Twilight. Like he could have definitely just taken more blockbuster roles after Twilight, but he kind of stepped out of the limelight and kind of did a lot of indie films to kind of really show his acting chops so people would take him seriously. Yeah. And I knew he was going to be knock it out of the park. I knew based on the director, Matt Reeves, if you've seen Let Me In, if you've seen his Planet movies, the 2, he didn't do the first one, but he's great at building worlds. Like he's very, very good at making these fully
Right.
realized worlds. And I think we're going to get one of the better Gothams, probably the most realized Gotham we've seen live action wise.
Yes. I'm really excited from the jump. I said
Yes.
this was going to be one of the best. I said this was not one of the best. I said this is going to be the best Batman film we've ever had.
Yeah,
I will
absolutely.
still stand by that
I stand by,
statement.
yeah.
I said it last year. I said this last year. I'm going to say it again this year. If you guys are sleeping on it, you're going to hear me
Yeah.
talk a lot about it.
Yeah.
Because
We're Battinson, right? Yeah, we'll call him Battinson. Well, he's Battinson. You call him Batflick, he's Battinson. We're big Battinson fans here, all right?
I love it, you know, and I love the whole concept. And I said this again, I said this last year, was the concept of the bat symbol in his chest plate is so thoughtful. It is the gun melted down.
The gum, yeah.
So to me, when that was first revealed, I was like, that means this movie shit is hitting the fan. We've already seen it, right?
Yep.
And when you're making a trailer, you want to choose scenes that are thoughtful enough to build the excitement, but you're not giving the whole big picture. And if those action scenes are what we have in store, if that's just the surface level, I'm here for it, you know? And I think it's definitely going to be a very detective heavy role.
Oh, yeah. More so,
Riddler,
we haven't really seen Batman be a detective in the movies too much.
What I'm very happy about is I've always complained that the Riddler never has a good costume in the comics or in any film. You finally gave the Riddler a good costume. But
I don't know if it's a good costume. It looks like he's kind of in like a trash bag, a green trash bag, and like a big oversized
from
coat.
Zero Year when he looked like the guy in the Lucky Charms commercial.
I mean, he's never had a great costume, but I don't really know how you do that guy well. But I don't know. I'll give it a chance. I'm very excited. I don't know. His costume does. I don't know how to feel about the costume. I wouldn't say it works, but it's not bad.
I like it. I'm here for it, you know. And the cast is very expensive. We're dealing with the Falcone family, which is super exciting, and you're getting into little gritty parts of Gotham that the previous films have been so, I wouldn't say terrified to.
They didn't focus on Gotham
because Gotham makes Batman. What the films didn't realize is Batman is the Dark Knight in a very dark place. He's not the guy who fights Bane and Joker in broad daylight.
Yeah.
So to me, that was really my biggest issue with the what the hell is his name trilogy?
Christopher Nolan.
Yes, that bozo. Christopher Nolan's trilogy. He's not a bozo, but he's not a bozo. I just
correction. Thank you.
But but I don't know. It's like, I think we're finally gonna get deep into what makes Gotham as dark as it is.
And unique. Gotham's supposed to be a very unique city, like no place on earth, and I think we're gonna get into that.
I'm super excited for you guys. I think, but like I said, I think I'm most excited about what they're doing with Milestone and Wonder Woman. I think and then the Batman trailer, of course, Young Justice. I think those were easily my highlights. What about you, man?
I'm just gonna have to go Batman all the way. I'm not gonna lie. There's nothing else that really floored me the way Batman did.
It floored. It cleared all areas.
Yes.
Cleared all areas, and you know, I don't know what else to say. I'm excited for it. I don't want to build up to excitement because historically DC has let us down in their film industry, but I like to think
this will be the changer.
This will
mark my words.
Well, we even said that last year about like Suicide Squad and the Snyder Cut, and I was like, where are we a year later? But
I didn't think those movies would change anything. I just thought I enjoyed both of those movies. By the way,
here's the thing about the Aquaman movie and the Flash movie. They're still Snyderverse. They're still not Scott Snyder. They're still Snyderverse. They're Zack Snyderverse. Even though he's not, it's just the world that he kind of built.
They're using elements, yes, but even in the first Aquaman movie, Snyderverse, but they only mentioned one thing, Steppenwolf. They so you could still look at its own look at it as its own thing, separate from the Snyderverse, because they don't really, shout out too many things from Snyderverse's plots. Like the only thing in Aquaman that referenced Snyderverse was Steppenwolf. Other than that, it could have been its own movie, own thing. I think it's just because the actors he chose are the ones still rocking the suits. That's why everyone I don't mind
yeah, because
Snyderverse.
they hired him for years down the road. You can't get rid of him. You can't clean a house once you just got your project.
But here's the thing people don't understand about Zack Snyder, the idea he was going for. He wanted he wanted DC's heroes to earn, like, we know DC's heroes as like the the gods, the mythological beings, like they're this Boy Scouts stand up inspirational heroes, while Marvel kind of has like the more realistic. He wanted those heroes to earn that. Like, he wanted them to have to go through trial and tribulations to grow to become the heroes that we know of them as today.
Right.
And I think a lot that goes over a lot of people's heads. Now,
Yeah,
was
but
it could have been
I don't think it
executed
was
better.
well executed. Yeah, I think
No.
it could have been
Yeah.
executed better.
Yeah.
But you know,
But
hopefully things will change. We can look at this as more of like a beacon of hope for DC. They didn't fire anyone this year before leading into this big event, so we can't get
that's
mad at them
another
for that.
thing. They're having a backbone finally. Stand
I
by your
think
projects, guys.
right. I think they are kind of steering their ship well, and again, we're gonna see this once things come full circle, because they're only really giving us bits and pieces. We're gonna see more as 2021 ends, going into 2022.
Yep.
So hopefully this brings in a whole new year. But I am a little surprised we didn't really see anything from the Green Lantern show. It's a little worrisome.
No, not necessarily. They just no
concept art. No concept art. Even just a little bit.
Okay, when is the show scheduled for?
I think 2022, summer of 2022.
No, I don't think it's that early. There's no way. That's less than a year, and they've not shown anything. I think maybe 2023 would be, if you guys can help verify that.
Yeah.
But that seems more realistic. If it's 2023, it makes a lot more sense as to why they haven't shown anything. Especially if it's summer 2023, so that means we've got like 2.5 years until that comes out. So maybe next year, if they start showing something.
I think it's gonna be. I think they're gonna start showing us more and more. But I hope we would have gotten at least concept art, because even Naomi is a project that wasn't really announced a whole lot, as much as the Green Lantern show was. So that was kind of what I was banking it off of, because like they announced it around the same time they announced Blue Beetle.
But Green Lantern is going to, I don't know what Blue Beetle is. That's a movie, I believe, but I know Green Lantern is going to be like an HBO Max project.
Right.
Like they're going to have way bigger budget.
Right.
Is it?
Okay. Yeah. I just hope they don't run into the budget that Swamp Thing ran under and lack thereof. But
different studio though. HBO Max, they put their money where their mouth is, man.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I'm very excited for that, most of all. So
same.
Mostly because I like my boys Kyle and Hal. I want to see them kick ass. John kick ass.
Hal's not going to be in, is he?
I think he'll be in. I think it's supposed to rotate. I think it's supposed to rotate each lantern. Like each episode is focusing on a new lantern.
Okay.
I think that's like the latest that I've heard. I mean, Jessica Cruz is gonna be phenomenal. I think she'll steal the show. I could
do without Hal though. I feel like he's gotten enough spotlighting. No. He's gotten enough spotlighting. Let Ellen, let Guy, let John, let Simon, let Jessica, let Kyle, let them shine. Hal's gotten his shine. Let's have him back as Parallax. I want Hal. Hal is Parallax Station.
Wow. No. No.
That's my Hal Jordan. Parallax, baby. Let's give him the Reed Richards gray size. Let's take it back, guys.
Where are you?
I'm sorry. Hal's not that bad, but he's my least favorite Lantern.
Bryce, he's in your spot.
And I left Jeff Johns' Green Lantern run, but
I love Hal. I'm a huge Hal Jordan fan. I'm a huge Kyle Rayner fan. Jessica Cruz. Those are my top 3 Lanterns. So as long as I get them shining, I'm okay with it.
Have you read Tomasi's Green Lantern Corps?
Mm-hmm.
How do you not like Guy?
I just don't really resonate with the character like that.
I get that. I like endearing assholes. Like he's an asshole, but there's something about him you're like, he's a dick.
Okay,
there's something about him I can't quite quit.
So the first two Guy Gardner stories I was introduced to was Just League International. He's a big cocksucker in that.
That's understandable, but
the second one was the Jaime Reyes ongoing by Keith Giffen, And
What
he
was
was
it?
at the Blue Beetle, the Jaime Reyes ongoing in Rebirth, where no was it was like his first ongoing, and he was attacking Jaime Reyes on
Guy was
yeah
with his Green Lantern ring.
he was attacking Jaime Reyes because he didn't know what he was.
Yeah, but isn't there something about Jaime Reyes? Isn't there something about Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle where he could be?
Dude, he
could be like
literally just
evil?
got it. This is like right after Infinite Crisis.
Exactly. He after all that shit that went down, he was taking no chances. The universe almost broke.
You don't
right?
attack it. You see a kid who's lost. You don't freaking attack it.
Did he know he was a kid, or was he in the Blue Beetle getup?
He was in the Blue Beetle get it, but it was you could still tell that that's not Ted Kord. That's a young kid.
No excuses. Ted Kord had his Jaime Reyes.
You're right. No
Jaime
excuses.
Reyes is
Guy Gardner knows better. You're damn right.
Jaime Reyes
on the head.
is not Ted Kord. Ted Kord is a guy in a suit with a bunch of inventions and gadgets. He's very smart. Jaime Reyes is a kid in a super advanced technological alien suit. Big difference. You can't be threatened by Ted Kord as a Green Lantern. You just can't.
And you shouldn't feel threatened by a kid who wasn't attacking you.
He wasn't threatened by that. I have to go read it. I haven't read that, but I'm sure Guy has his reasons. He always has his reasons, all right?
There was no reason. He looks like a fucking asshole.
That's his point, but he's endearing. He does shit for a reason.
Endearing about it.
Yes.
Oh,
next week, guys, it's gonna be a hour-long rant on why Guy Gardner is worth it.
See, guys, we've made it. I believe this is like our 6th episode, and we finally reached a disagreement, or like a disagreement that we're going deep into. It was bound to happen. But we were here discussing DC Fandome. I might have to cut this part out, but I probably won't.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
This is probably the longest running Crisis episode.
It is.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to watch Nick right after this at 5 o'clock. Well, it probably past 5 o'clock now. We're probably at like the 5:05 mark. 5.
But make sure you go tune into that.
5:20 arc. So make sure you guys go watch Nick and his haul video. And then we are going to go to Big Herm and Sam with their Tangled Web adventure. And then after that, we got Manny Tomorrow Cinema with I think it's What Are You Geeking Out About show.
Yes.
What Are You Geeking Out About show. And then next week is What Are You Making?
Before we go, today is my little boy's birthday. My son, he turned 2, so happy birthday, Nolan. Daddy loves you.
Happy birthday
to
Uncle
Brandon.
Nephew.
Uncle Brandon, even though he doesn't like Guy, he gives you his love.
I love you. Even though I don't like Guy, I love you, Nolan.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Big happy birthday in the chat for Nolan. You know, let's show him some love on what is he, 7? Big 7, right? 2. Oh. Yeah. I'm editing that part out.
No, it's all right. But I appreciate it, brother.
It's hard keeping up with everyone's kids because, like, I know Morbius's daughter just had a birthday. I know Lucas just had a birthday.
Yeah. Yep.
And then
you got too many nieces and nephews.
I think John, one of John's daughters just had a birthday.
Well, no way. Yeah. Happy birthday to all of those great children of these great people.
I might try to keep up with everyone's kids. I'm just like, Uncle Brandon is running in circles. I've never had so many kids to care about in my life. and there's one sitting right next to me. Oh, I'm sorry.
Did he just call us a kid? Shout out, Robbie.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to Crisis on Infinite Rants today. Next week, we will be back with a brand new topic. If you want to see us cover anything, let us know in the comments below. As always, please. What are your thoughts on DC Fandome? We'd love to hear it as well. Read your comic books. Stay healthy. Stay safe. And party on, my dudes. Station.